Hi, thank you for joining me for another process video, and I'm still continuing with our New York album from December last year, and these are just some photos that I snapped on a brief walk up Fifth Avenue. We were at the top by St Patrick's Cathedral and Saks Fifth Avenue, and I just snapped some photos and wanted to include them in our album. So you can see I'm adding some chipped sapphire ink to the background, just using a mini brayer, and I'm creating one of my favourite layouts, an L shape. So I'm just adding the background first before I come in with the papers. So I started with chipped sapphire. Now I'm coming in with one of the distressed grid stamps from Hey Little Magpie and picked raspberry, and I'm just adding a few of these circular elements to that mixed media background. I've decided that I want to use pink Paislee Joyful Notes. I'm having a break from Vicky Boutin's Bold and Bright, otherwise the whole of this day will be documented in those papers, so I wanted to have a change. This collection also works beautifully with the clock that was on the front of Saks for Christmas, the Christian Dior clock that they have up there. So just continuing with some of those grid shapes, and then I wanted to bring in some of the green because the third photo is of a window that's been dressed and it's got some ivy and things on it, so I just wanted to bring that green in as well. So just adding some splatters of that, and then I shall come in with the brayer just to add a little bit more and smush those out a little bit. It just helps them to dry a bit more quickly. I'm very impatient when it comes to scrapbooking, especially when I don't have a lot of time. We're very busy with James at the moment doing all his markets at the weekend, so I'm trying to get everything done during the week so that we can go off and do the markets together at the weekend. So there's the background done. I did leave it to dry, and now I'm just coming in with a couple more of these circular grids. I decided that they would work nicely overlapping up towards the bottom, so just adding a couple more there, and then I'm going to come in with the photos, mat them on white cardstock just to get that thin border that I like. It just gives them a little bit of a pop on the page when you've got a lot of patterns in the background, which I will have on this layout. It just gives your eye a little bit of a break if you've got that white border around the photo. So just scrap white cardstock and just trimming those down. These photos I've actually printed on a 5x7 photo paper. I've been waiting for my 4x6 to come in for ages, and I'd run out of this silk paper, which I prefer. It's a semi-matte, so I decided to try printing them on the 5x7, and it's working really well actually because it gives you a slightly bigger print. So I've printed 4 to a sheet, and that's what these look like. So they almost look like a 3x4, don't they? Is that what I'm thinking of? Anyway, when you print 3x4 when you print 2 on a 4x6. Sorry, my mind just isn't working properly today. So you can see there, as I mentioned, I pulled out the Joyful Notes from Pink Paislee, and I'm just pulling some papers to add some strips down the left-hand side and across the bottom to create that L shape. So I've just pulled out colours that I think will work nicely with the colours in the photo. And then I'm trimming those down to size. I want them all different widths and different lengths, just so that you see them all really as I layer them up. I don't want them to take up too much real estate on the layout. I just want them to frame the 3 photos at the bottom there. So I've got this lovely pink check, a navy blue floral, and this blue on blue floral. I'm just going to add some very thin strips of this. It's actually a cut apart on the other side, so I just wanted to check that I was cutting bits that I wasn't too bothered about losing. So just trimming those 2 down because I don't want any of the strips to be the full 12 inches. And then I'm going to distress all of the edges of each of the pieces and get them glued down onto the background, and then I can work out exactly where I want to put the photos and the other bits and pieces. So these 2 are the shortest, widest pieces, so they're going to go down first. And I do pull things up a couple of times until I've got them exactly right. You'll see with this one I do it almost straight away. I realised I don't like them overlapping at the bottom there. Even though it's more than likely going to be covered, I still want to like the look of it as I'm creating. So this is the second piece, just checking that I was happy tucking it under that first one. Just distressing the long edges. I don't bother with the short cut edges on pieces like this. And then I was thinking, oh, should I have used that script? But it wouldn't have worked on the upright piece because the words would have been the wrong way around, and that would just drive me loopy. And I also like the contrast that that navy provides with all the other colours in it. So again, distressing. I probably should have cut some of this out. I'm so sorry. I wasn't really concentrating, I think, when I was editing the video. I try and leave as much in as possible, but watching somebody distress hundreds of edges isn't that much fun, is it? So just getting that stuck down. And I'm just, once again, pulling that piece up to get it repositioned. And then these two, I just wanted to check that I was happy with the way that they overlap against each other, and that it does still show the other patterns through. Because like I mentioned, I do want to show everything that I've put on the page. I don't want to just completely cover it up. But it's amazing, look at the finished layout, how much of that mixed media I've covered up. There's not a great deal showing, but it does still peek out. And that's the main thing, isn't it? So getting that pink piece stuck down. And you'll see that I don't mirror what I'm doing on each of the sides. So although I've put that pink piece there, it goes slightly differently on the bottom. But I am doing the same pieces on each step, if that makes sense. So when I put the pink piece on the upright strip, I will then put the pink piece down on the bottom strip. But you can see I've put that in the middle of that diagonal stripe paper, where the one at on the upright piece I've put to the left. So these are the last two bits that are going to go down, and then I can start working on the photos, because I am going to add some more pattern papers behind those. Just trying to get a straight line with my ATG. I'm still not brilliant with it. And there's that blue one going down. Just want to tuck it under that stripy piece. And then I decided to tear a bit off the end and then add it to the left-hand side, rather than trying to weave it through all the bits and pieces. And then this last piece will go down, and I'll just weave it underneath that pink piece that's along the bottom. You'll see what I mean in a second. These are a little bit fiddly to distress the edges because they're so thin. I think I cut these at 1/2 inch. Looks like 1/2 inch. And I'm ploughing through this collection. I hadn't realised how much I'd used. It really is beautiful. And I love the jewel tones that you have in it. I've used it a few times in this album now. It's great for our pictures of the rockets I remember doing with this. So there you can see I've just tucked it underneath that bottom pink strip. And it's overlapping the one that's vertical. So just checking that I'm happy with the way that I've positioned the photos. I do want some Patrick's Cathedral at the top, and then Saks, which is next to it, underneath. And then that window, I can't quite remember where it was, but it was between walking up Fifth Avenue and onto the Palace Hotel, which is at the back of St Patrick's Cathedral. So it was somewhere along that walk. It could well have been one of the windows in Saks Fifth Avenue down the right hand side of the building as we were walking down the side. So just getting these stuck down onto that pink paper. I'm going to use that for all three. As for the first mat, and then the second mat, I'm going to use this floral. This is the one that's got that lovely blue script on the back, so I will use the blue floral on the two bottom photos and then the blue script on the top photo. And I'm going to keep that torn edge at the bottom because I do like that. So there's the first one. Here's the second one. And I do it onto the blue, but then I change my mind, so you'll see in a second. I pull that picture off and add this one. And then add this one to the floral again. I wanted that torn edge to show along the bottom, and if I'd used the script, it would have been too obvious. So there was a reasoning. When I was doing it, I thought, no, I definitely want the blue at the top. So now back into that cut apart sheet, and I wanted to use a couple of these tags as layering pieces behind one of the photos. Undecided which one, so I try it at the top here. I'm just going to trim off those corners so that I can see exactly what it looks like. And then I try at the bottom here. Just cutting that other one out. I like the scalloped edges on this pale blue one. And then I do move them in a second. I also cut this navy blue one out. That doesn't actually make it onto the layout in the end. I thought I was going to tuck that to the right hand side, but it just didn't fit in properly. Couldn't make it work. But I've got it for a future layout. So now coming in with my alphabet stickers and the phrase stickers to work out what to use for my title, but I'm still not happy with those tags, so I'm just having a little play here. I decide on Hello Fifth Avenue, so I'm going to use that hello from the phrase stickers, and then I move those tags around to the right hand side. I'm much happier with that, so I'm just going to write Hello Fifth. So using this phrase to put hello down, then I realise that I haven't stuck these down yet, so just getting that stuck down along with the other two. And of course those tags, and then I can make sure that I can get the title exactly where I want it to be in relation to the rest of it. So just trimming off the excess from those tags, and I'm going to distress all the edges, of course, and punch holes in them so that I can add some wax twine. Again, my trusty Tim Holtz edge distresser there, and my We Are Memory Keepers crocodile from years ago. I must have had that a good 20 years now. So just getting those tags done. And again, distressing all the edges. I'm sorry about the camera shaking. I'm obviously being a little bit rough and wobbling the desk. I do apologise for that. So just checking I'm happy with the positioning before getting that stuck. And I can stick the whole block to the back and then carry on with that title. Just working out how to overlap it. And then I realised that the tag was poking out at the end, so I'm just going to cut that off before I stick it down. So back to the title. So using this one, as I say, from the phrase foam stickers from this collection from Joyful Notes. And then I want to use those gold alphabet thickers that are in the collection to write out fifth. And it's at this point I realise I don't have any T's left. So put the H down, and then I'm going to use another letter. I'm going to use an F. So just cut off the very end, cut off that middle piece, and then move that over to the left to create the T. And you can see it if you're looking closely, but it really doesn't matter. I just loved this font to create a layout with Saks Fifth Avenue in, because it's so classy and so 50s. I really wanted that lovely Art Deco font on it. So now my journaling, and I'm just going to say about where we were going, and then carry on with embellishing. So first of all, the wax twine through those two tags. And I just fiddle about a little bit to get the ends exactly where I want them. And trim off the excess. And then I'm going to come in with the ephemera pieces just to see if there's anything else I can add. It's quite a card makey kind of collection, this one, but it's surprising how much you can use for scrapbooking. I've really enjoyed using it on my pages, and I know that Helen Ding used it a lot as well. We both got it around the same time and we're both creating furiously with it. It's beautiful. So I just cut this journaling card apart. I just wanted it to look like a little gold edge label behind that photo at the top, and then I'll cut the other side off and use that on the left hand side of that photo of Saks. I try it there, but I'm just not happy with it over the tags, and I like the balance more with having one piece on the right and one piece on the left. So that goes there, and then back to the sticker sheet, and I just found a few little hearts that pink one there and a gold one that does go above the 5th in the end. Just trying it down there, but decide it's better up there. And then this lovely little birdie is just going to perch on top of that top photo. So I cut apart one of my black tabs to add the date to, but then I decided that craft will definitely look better with this collection. I think because I've got a fairly dark title with the navy blue hello, the black was just a little bit too stark, and the craft is a much better fit. So now I'm going to add a few ribbon loops, so a dark green one there at the bottom, and then I'll bring in a piece of black gingham as well next to it, well, just on top of it, underneath. So there's the green. That was from some flowers that I was bought for my birthday. Some flowers by post, they were lovely. And then this gingham. So always look at things that you get on gifts and things like that. If you like adding trims to your layouts, it's amazing where you can find the different trims on clothing tags, or like I say, these were flowers by post. So I always a little magpie. That's why I called the business Hey Little Magpie, because I'm always collecting things. I think we all have that in us, don't we, when we scrapbook. So just using my roller date stamp there to add the date at the top of the page. Again, this is a Hey Little Magpie roller date stamp that we stock. So check that out if you need a new one. It goes from 23 up to, I think it's 2032 or something. And that's just going to sit on that craft tag. And then at the bottom here, I decided to bring in an ampersand. Again, that's cut from one of the Hey Little Magpie dies. And I'm just bringing in some bits and pieces from the shop. These little corduroy hearts are gorgeous. And I've got one of the gingham hearts I'm going to add next to it. And then you'll see shortly I'm going to bring in one of the suede hearts in pink. Well, it's a faux suede heart. I don't think they're real suede. And one of the puffy stars, the midi-sized stars. So there's that heart, and here's the star. And then to finish off, I'm just going to add some gold splatters all the way around the edge. And that's the layout completed. Thank you so much for joining me. I do hope this has provided some inspiration. I hope you're not getting bored of seeing all these New York photos. I'm almost there, I promise, and then I will do an album flick through. I just want to get it done. I'm really good at doing 95% of a job, so I'm staying focused and getting all these layouts into my album to show you all. Thanks so much. Bye.